So, good day. Uh, Today I will discuss about the chemistry for domestic wastewater treatment. I am Christian Cesar Estocado, and the topics included in this chapter is the introduction about domestic wastewater, the wastewater treatment categorization, the overview of wastewater treatment systems, the primary treatment, secondary treatment, advanced treatment, the disinfection of wastewater, and the sludge treatment and disposal. Let's begin in the introduction. So, domestic wastewater is the water utilized by various communities. It mostly contains human body waste and sewage. These sewage are the waste coming from the sinks, household sinks, from bathing, that that waste. There are three characterizations of domestic wastewater: the theoretical oxygen demand, the chemical oxygen demand, and the biochemical oxygen demand. The higher the concentration of organic matter in the wastewater, the stronger it is. Wastewater strength is observed by its biological oxygen demand or chemical oxygen demand amount. Poor people produce less BOD than rich people, according to Campos and von Sperling, 1996. Domestic wastewater are usually collected through sewers, but it is expensive. Simplified sewerage or condominial sewerage are used. But the question is, why treat domestic wastewater? We should treat domestic water in order for the for the reduction of the transmission of excreta-related diseases. These excreta-related diseases are the human excretions related diseases like coliform bacteria, like that, and treating domestic water reduce water pollution and damage to aquatic life forms. Let's proceed to the wastewater treatment categorization. There are three categories in wastewater treatment processes: the primary, secondary, and advanced treatment, and I will discuss this later on. So let's proceed to the overview of wastewater treatment systems. So in the Philippines, there are only 10% of wastewater that is treated, and 58% of groundwater is said to be contaminated, according to the Department of Environmental and Natural Resources in their Environmental Management Bureau. According to the DNR-EMB, sludge treatment and disposal facilities are rare nowadays. This is the primary reason why domestic wastewaters are discharged to any points of a runoff. Wastewater treatment systems are built in helping on the adjustment of pH level, separation of oil and grease from water, reduce the BOD, COD, the total suspended solids, the color, and other contaminants in the wastewater. It is according to the website AquaSafe Water Systems. Let's proceed to the wastewater treatment categorizations. First is the primary treatment. There are many primary treatments used to treat wastewater. The first system is the primary clarifier. This is a sedimentation or settling tank. It is used to clarify the wastewater and settle out the sludge taken off from the wastewater. This tank can be rectangular or circular. Chemical additions such as polymers, chlorine or potassium permanganate, and iron and aluminum compounds are used to improve settling and control the odor of the wastewater. So I am going to you a picture of a primary clarifier, which has the effluent zone, and the sludge zone. Next is the system called an imhoff tank. Is also used for the settling of the extracted sludge from the wastewater that occurs with an anaerobic digestion. Next is the secondary treatment processes. Trickling filters are used in the secondary treatment, and it is a process where the wastewater trickles over media that provide the opportunity for the formation of slimes and biomass which contain organisms that remove the waste from the water. that is being treated. Next is the secondary treatment. They activate the sludge in order for the sludge to be decomposed. The activated sludge is completed through oxidation leach. Oxidation leaches are modified forms of an activated sludge process wherein the wastewater is treated in a large oval leaches with one or many horizontal aerators. Next is the activated sludge also uses diffused or dispersed aeration. This process injects oxygen below the surface of the wastewater in order to enhance the oxygen supply to the activated sludge process and to mix aerobic components. It targets the dissolved oxygen of 2 to 4 mg per liter. Next is the activated sludge process includes the sequencing batch reactor where aeration, sedimentation, and clarification takes place in one tank in sequence. So first water is filled and through the influent zone, wastewater is filled, and then through mixing and reaction and proceed to and it reacts through mixing and aeration, then settle, then it decants, then it idles, then the waste sludge will be run off or settled up from the tank. And in the decantation process, the treated wastewater will be took off from the tank. Next, in the secondary treatment is in the secondary treatment, a stabilization pond or lagoon is also used. It utilizes a shallow pond or lagoon used in treating wastewater. It can be aerated or non-aerated. So next is the advanced treatment of wastewater. The advanced wastewater treatment uses an effluent flow equalization. Effluent flow equalization uses an equalization tank to prevent surges in effluent discharges. Chemical and physical treatment is also used in advanced wastewater treatment. Chemical treatment processes includes coagulation and precipitation. We already discussed the coagulation and precipitation where the sediments precipitates when it coagulates, when coagulants is added to the wastewater. And physical treatment processes includes filtration, screening, and sedimentation, which is discussed a while ago. So ion exchange also is a process in advanced treatment that uses zeolites to remove ammonia in the wastewater. Now, membrane filtration is the use of membranes in treating wastewaters. The use of electrodialysis is also considered, in which ions are transferred from one solution to the other with the help of DC voltage. Total nitrogen and total phosphate are removed from wastewater by microorganisms in the process biological nutrient removal because as we all know that nitrogen and phosphorus nutrients are very harmful for the water, especially if it is excessive already. So pH adjustments is also done in advanced wastewater treatment because it is considered as effective treatment for the wastewater. Disinfection of the wastewater. So disinfecting a wastewater contributes so much in treating wastewaters because disinfecting processes are the most essential process in obtaining a potable, clean, and safe water for the community. Disinfection includes the process of chlorination, use of UV light, ozonation, and dechlorination. We already discussed disinfection on the topic chemistry for wastewater treatment. Chlorination is an oxidation process which is completed by the addition of chlorine. Chlorination, kailangan siya chlorine. So chlorine oxidizes microbiological materials, either organic or inorganic compounds. Chlorination is done by using powdered or liquid hypochlorites on site, generating hypochlorites, gas chlorine, chloralkali on site generations, and chlorination using tablets. So those are some chlorination processes done by by most of wastewater treatment facilities. This uh, chlorination using tablets usually contains 70% of chlorine that is placed on a filter which disinfect the water. So, disinfection with the use of UV light is also an effective disinfectant to treat wastewaters. Ozonation is also a process of disinfection that applies ozone, where ozone is unstable in our atmosphere. That's why it should be generated on site. So next is the chlorination is used to remove the chlorine present in the treated water after chlorination, because chlorine is toxic for all aquatic life forms. Like we discussed before, the treatment for water pollution, salts have a high concentration of chlorine, which salts can be toxic for all aquatic life forms when it is present in the water. So the chlorination is very important to remove the chlorine. So proceed to the sludge treatment and disposal. So before treating and disposing the sludge taken off from the wastewater, the first to do is to determine the mass and volume of the sludge. This will introduce us to a new relationship, the sludge volume weight relationship. The volume of sludge depends on the water content and solids content of the wastewater. The mass of the solid is shown in the relationship due to specific gravity. So I will picture where M sub S is equals to the mass of solids in kilograms. The S sub S is the overall specific gravity of solids. The density sub W is the density of water in kilogram per meter cubic, and the mass of fixed solids, the M sub F in kilograms. The S sub F is the specific gravity of fixed solids. The M sub V is the mass of volatile solids, and the S sub V is the specific gravity of volatile solids. The next is the volume of the sludge can be computed by this equation, where the V sub SL is the volume of the sludge in meter cubic, and the M sub S is the weight of dry solids in kilograms, which also needs the density of water in kilogram per meter cubic, the specific gravity of sludge, and the P sub S, the percent soils expressed as a decimal. While treating and before the disposal of sludge from the wastewaters, the process of sludge thickening and dewatering is required. There are various systems used to thicken and dewater the sludge. A sludge decant tank is just similar to secondary clarifiers. They allow settled material to be removed by the scrappers. A gravity thickener basin is a circular basin that lets the heavier solids to settle down the basin, and this is raked to the sludge hopper. So a gravity belt thickener is also used in thickening the sludge. It uses a chemically conditioned sludge that is applied to the belt of the thickener, where the free water from the belt drains into the small holes located in the belt. The thickened sludge is removed from the belt to proceed to another treatment process called stabilization. So use of a centrifuge thickens the sludge by centrifugal forces and fed the sludge to a rotating bowl at a constant rate. The water extracted from the sludge and some fine particles are settled out on the effluent line. There are three common types of centrifuges: the basket centrifuge, the disc centrifuge, and the scroll centrifuge. I will view the basket centrifuge. This is the basket centrifuge. This is the disc centrifuge and the scroll centrifuge. A sludge bagger is also used by small wastewater treatment facilities that do not produce a high volume of sludge. The bags used in these systems are polypropylene bags that are made of porous materials. The sludge can be dewatered when the bags are already full. The sludge that will be treated and disposed will be stabilized and conditioned. There are different processes and systems in sludge stabilization and conditioning. Anaerobic digestion is a multi-stage biochemical process that stabilizes the sludge, resulting in the production of methane and carbon dioxide gases. Sludge is heated and fermented in tanks at 131 degree Fahrenheit and unheated at 98 degree Fahrenheit. When there is an anaerobic digestion, there should be an aerobic digestion. So lahi ang anaerobic o ang aerobic digestion. Aerobic digestion is a biological treatment process that uses aeration to stabilize the sludge. Another process is the wet oxidation that uses the oxygen to oxidize the soluble and suspended components of the wastewater. The oxidation reaction occurs from 275 degree Fahrenheit to 608 degree Fahrenheit. So, as we see, sludge stabilization and conditioning also uses lime with chemical stabilization. This process adds lime to the sludge and mix for 30 minutes with a pH of 11.5 to 12. This process results to unfavorable conditions that destroys pathogenic and non-pathogenic bacteria in the sludge. So, the solids disposal or sludge disposal occurs when it is already to be disposed. There are processes and systems in disposing solids or sludge. Incineration is the conversion of the dewatered wastewater solids by combustion to ash and carbon dioxide. And land application is the disposal of sludge on agricultural or non-agricultural lands. Sludge lagoon is the use of dedicated facultative lagoons to dispose the sludge. So that's all. Thank you.